Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into something truly special, a deeply moving, historically rich short story by French writer Alphonse Daudet, called The Last Lesson. We aren't just going to sit here and recount a plot, right? We're going to really explore the profound themes of linguistic identity, the absolute tragedy of taking our freedom for granted, and the heartbreaking loss of a mother tongue. Let's get right into it.
I want you to really think about this for a second. What if you woke up tomorrow and were suddenly forbidden from speaking your native language? The language you think in, the language you dream in, the language of your childhood. It's a shocking scenario for sure, but this is exactly where we're going to anchor our empathy today. It is literally the core conflict of our story, and it serves as a powerful reminder of just how deeply our cultural heritage is tied to the very words we speak.
Section 1. A Morning Like No Other. Meet Franz. So, to really understand Franz's morning, we first need to look at the historical backdrop. The year is 1870. The Franco-Prussian War is raging, and France has just been defeated by Prussia. The French districts of Alsace and Lorraine have officially fallen into Prussian hands. For the last 2 years, the town hall bulletin board in Franz's small village has just been this constant source of bad news: lost battles, grim military orders, the whole shebang. So there is this immense political tension looming over the village on this particular morning. Meanwhile, our protagonist, Franz, is just hurrying to school, absolutely dreading a scolding because, well, he hasn't memorized his rules for participles.
But when Franz gets there, he walks into a jarring reality. Usually there's a loud commotion, right? You hear desks opening, lessons being repeated in unison, and the strict teacher, M. Hamel, rapping his terrible iron ruler on the table. Franz was actually banking on that chaos to sneak into his seat unnoticed. But today, it's as quiet as a Sunday morning. No scolding. Instead, M. Hamel kindly tells Franz to sit down. And get this, the teacher is wearing his beautiful green coat, a frilled shirt, and an embroidered silk cap. These are clothes he strictly reserves for inspection and prize days. And most surprisingly, the backbenches, which are normally totally empty, are occupied by village elders, like old Hauser, and they're all just sitting there with incredibly sad expressions. Moving on to Section 2, the announcement, a thunderclap.
This is the moment everything changes. M. Hamel mounts his chair and delivers an absolute bombshell. An order has come from Berlin. Starting tomorrow, only German will be taught in the schools of Alsace and Lorraine. A new master is arriving, and this is their very last French lesson. Daudet describes these words hitting Franz literally like a thunderclap. In a split second, it all clicks. The strange Sunday best clothes, the mournful village elders in the back of the room, it completely makes sense now. They're there to thank the master for his 40 years of faithful service, and to mourn a country that suddenly is theirs no more.
Section 3, shifting perspectives, Franz transformed. You really have to notice the heartbreaking 180-degree shift in Franz's mindset right here. I mean, before this moment, his books felt like heavy nuisances. He'd way rather be out hunting for birds' eggs or sliding on the Saar River than studying, and he viewed M. Hamel as just a cranky taskmaster. But after the announcement, wow, those exact same heavy grammar and history books suddenly feel like old friends he simply cannot bear to part with. His dread of the ruler completely vanishes. It's replaced by a deep respect and a desperate, sudden hunger to learn a language he realizes he can barely even write. It's this tragic realization of a precious privilege slipping right through his fingers.
So, of course, when Franz predictably stumbles while trying to recite his rules for participles, M. Hamel doesn't scold him. Actually, he maturely shares the blame. He points out the tragic flaw of Alsace, which is this collective assumption that there is always plenty of time to learn tomorrow. He blames the parents, who preferred to send their kids to work on farms or at the mills just for a little extra money. And he even blames himself. He admits that he often gave the students holidays when he wanted to go fishing or had them water his flowers instead of teaching them. Ultimately, they had all taken their freedom and their language totally for granted.
Section 4, linguistic chauvinism, identity and heritage.
To really grasp the weight of this story, we need to talk about linguistic chauvinism. Basically, it's the belief that one's own language or culture is superior, and it's weaponized to assert dominance over a conquered people. See, the Prussians aren't just taking the physical land of Alsace and Lorraine. By forcing German into the schools, they're attempting to systematically strip away the cultural identity and heritage of the French people. It's a psychological occupation, completely designed to erase their roots and make them feel helpless. By controlling what the children learn, the conquerors are literally trying to rewrite the future of the entire region. this crucial point is captured so beautifully in this iconic quote from M. Hamel. He passionately tells the class that French is the most beautiful, clearest, and most logical language in the world, and he urges them to guard it fiercely. Because, as he says, and I want you to really let this sink in, when a people are enslaved, as long as they hold fast to their language, it is as if they had the key to their prison. It's incredible, right? The mother tongue is the ultimate preserver of freedom and unity. As long as they keep their language alive, their core identity cannot be fully conquered.
Section 5. The final dismissal. Time runs out.
In their final moments together, the class works with an unprecedented, almost eerie quiet focus. M. Hamel has brought new writing copies for the day, and they look like little flags floating all around the room, reading France, Alsace. The only sound in the entire room is the scratching of pens on paper. Meanwhile, upstairs you can hear M. Hamel's sister packing their trunks to leave the country forever. And then time runs out. The church clock strikes 12, and the trumpets of the returning Prussian soldiers echo outside the window. M. Hamel stands up, pale, completely choked with emotion. He can't even speak. He just turns to the blackboard and writes as large as he possibly can, "Vive la France, long live France." With a simple, heartbreaking wave of his hand, the school is dismissed. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a really haunting thought that crosses Franz's mind during that quiet writing lesson. Hearing the pigeons cooing low on the roof, he wonders to himself, will they make them sing in German, even the pigeons? It's such a profound line. It beautifully highlights the unnatural cruelty and honestly the sheer absurdity of forcing a cultural identity onto a people. You can capture territory, sure, but you cannot dictate the soul of a place or the song of its inhabitants. So think about it. What is the language, literal or metaphorical, that you might be taking for granted today? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer on the last lesson. Keep exploring, keep learning, and never take your words for granted.